Welcome to GVTV, Episode 5. I'm your host, Greg Oakford. On this program, we wrap up the 2015 Pennant season, hear from David Blake and Michelle Hui, and help you improve your game with a tip from Victorian men's state coach, Marty Joyce. The 2015 Pennant season came to a close on Sunday 17th of May with 17 finals being played across 4 venues. 3 Division 1 finals plus Division 2 Colts and Women were hosted at Royal Melbourne's West Course. Getting underway first was the Division 1 Colts final between Commonwealth and Waverley, with Commonwealth striving for their 4th consecutive flag. Despite victories to Waverley's number 1 Sam Rawlings and number 5 James Wendell, it was Commonwealth's middle order of Callie Lyle, Tyler Fent and Jasper Horton that helped secure its 4th title in as many years with a 3-2 victory. In the Women's Division 2 contest, Kingston Heath would prevail over Kew with a scoreline of 4.5 to 2.5. Key victories included Kingston Heath's captain Dale Marshall, who recorded a 6-5 win in the number 1 match, with victories also coming in the way of Ursula Deneve, Amy Zhao and Lauren Arundel. Metropolitan locked horns with Rosanna in the Division 2 Colts final in what was a tale of the top and bottom order. Rosanna took the points in the number 1 and 2 matches, but it was Metropolitan's 3 through 5 that proved the difference as they secured the flag with a 3-2 win.
Okay, one more. Okay, here we go. Hold it there. Anybody else? Photograph. Thank you.
Spectators flocked to Royal Melbourne to witness the men's Division 1 final between Commonwealth and Victoria. Earlier in the season, Victoria handed Commonwealth its only loss and were looking to do the same again. The number 2 matchup would be a showdown of Victorian teammates Fraser Droop and Ben Eccles, with Droop edging out his Victorian captain 2-1. The anticipated pairing of 2 of Australia's highest ranked amateurs, Lucas Herbert and Ryan Ruffles, didn't disappoint, with hundreds following the number 1 match. The match was played at a high level throughout, but ultimately it was Herbert who would prove too tough, closing out a 4-3 victory as Commonwealth cruised to a 5.5, 1.5 win to claim back-to-back Division 1 crowns.
Here we go.
For GVTV, standing here with Lucas Herbert. Lucas, you had a 4-3 win over number 1 from Victoria, Ryan Ruffles, today in your team's 5.5 to 1.5 win, giving Commonwealth back-to-back titles in Pennant Division 1. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's obviously special. To win a Pennant final is something a lot of guys don't get to do, and it's a real privilege to win one.
And it was a highly anticipated matchup between yourself and Ryan today. Obviously, teammates a few weeks ago in the Interstate Series win. How did that pan out today?
Yeah, well, obviously it was always going to be a great match between us two. Ryan's such a good player, and it was going to be such a big test for me to try and stand up to him.
Standing here with Commonwealth Division 1 men's captain Tom Cooling. Tom, you had a 5.5 to 1.5 victory over Victoria today. How do you feel?
Yeah, ecstatic. Just to win 5.5, 1.5 after Vic beat us during the year. Yeah, it's really good to get up.
And personally, you had a 4-3 win today in your matchup. Did you have a commanding lead all day?
It was actually pretty close throughout the day. It didn't get any more than probably one. And yeah, towards the end, I just sort of kept the pressure on him and yeah, won a couple of holes towards the end.
Well, Tom, you played at number 7 last year in the final, number 3 today, and you were captain. Must be a little bit extra special.
Yeah, watching Matt last year captain the team, I thought I would always want to do something like that. But yeah, playing 7 last year and winning up 19, I thought that was pretty special. But yeah, playing with these guys that have developed throughout the 4 or 5 years I've been at the club, yeah, it's special to captain a good team like this.
Victoria entered the Division 1 Women's Final as favourites over Huntingdale, having gone through undefeated. At the midway point, the early ascendancy belonged to Victoria, with number 1 player Olivia Klein spearheading the charge with a convincing 6-5 win over Huntingdale's Bianca Ling. Despite being down in a number of matches, Huntingdale mounted a comeback down the stretch, and none bigger than the number 3 match between Lisa Teo and Victoria's Sue Worcester. Teo trailed Worcester by 6 through 7 holes, but managed to claw her way back into the contest, eventually squaring on the 17th hole. With scores from remaining matches starting to take shape, the Teo and Worcester point would prove pivotal. Coming down the 18th, both players found the sand with their second shots. Worcester would play first and responded to the moment with a brilliantly played bunker shot that finished 5 feet from the cup. Not to be outdone, Teo found her ball inside of Worcester's on this shot. Feeling the pressure, both players failed to convert their attempts and would need extra holes to decide a winner. Teo didn't like her drive on the opening playoff hole, finding herself in the left-hand rough as it was advantage Worcester, who sat in the middle of the fairway. The shot of the day, however, went to Teo with this 8-iron approach that rolled to a foot. With Worcester needing to sink a 25-foot putt to extend, it was Teo who tapped in for birdie to win the decisive point and hand Huntingdale the 4-3 upset victory. Consolation up ahead for Victoria came in the way of this monster putt from Kono Matsumoto, who closed out a 1-up win over Helen Gubbles. For GVTV, standing here with Lisa Teo from Huntingdale Golf Club. Lisa, you had the decisive win against Victoria's Sue Worcester. Phenomenal second shot on the 19th hole. Just talk us through that.
Well, she, because I was in the rough on the left and she was on the fairway, so she had to go first, and she got it on not too far away, so about 6 or 7 meters. So I just thought, if I can get it close, then I have a chance of, winning the match. So I just took my 8-iron from about 130 meters, and I just hit it straight at the pin.
Did you know that it landed within a foot?
No, not until I walked up, and it just looked closer as I walked closer. Yeah.
And obviously it was a tough match all day against Sue. She's played Pennant for a number of years. I believe you were down 5 or 6 shots prior to your comeback.
Yes, I was 6 down after 7. So, but you know, Sue's a really good player. She's been playing for many years, and she was undefeated throughout the season as well. So she started off very well with the birdie on the first hole. Then I thought, you know, it would be a tough match today.
Standing here with Emily Smith from Huntingdale Golf Club, winners of the 2015 Women's Pennant Division 1. How do you feel?
Very excited. Couldn't be more stoked with the result today. Yeah.
And Emily, you mentioned before in your presentation that after 9 holes it wasn't looking all that great. It was obviously a big fight back by the girls today.
Yeah, that's right. I said to the girls at the start of the day, you know, it's never over in match play until you can't get any further. So they did a really good job, and they really dug deep on that back 9. And Lisa's comeback was just amazing. So we all really wanted it, and digging deep, and that's exactly what we did to get over the line today.
And you mentioned Lisa's phenomenal victory. I think she was down 5 or 6 at one point against Sue Worcester from Victoria. Went to the 19th hole, and a cracking second shot left her with a foot for birdie. Did you see it yourself?
Oh, I didn't see it, but I had the text messages coming through my phone, and it was very exciting to get that one to say that Lisa's won to get us over the line. We couldn't be more pleased. Yeah.
Michelle, your ball's over here.
Perfect, Blakey, thank you. This tree's a bit in the way, so I'm just going to move this branch up a bit.
Unfortunately, Michelle, you're not allowed to do that.
Oh, really? Why not?
This is Michelle Hui and I'm David Blake from Golf Victorian. In this case, Michelle's ball's under the tree and she has to take her stance as fairly as possible, and fairly means in the most intrusive way.
So I can't actually push this branch up?
Not with your hands, Michelle. You're allowed to back into the branch if you just want to come back out and try and back in there as least intrusive as possible.
Okay, like this?
That would be correct. So that's what you should have done the first time.
Okay, perfect. Or I'll bring my saw next time. Thank you, Blakey.
Hi, I'm Marty Joyce. I'm going to give you a quick tip for GVTV today on chipping. And one of the sort of common faults I see in a lot of the chipping lessons I do is around setup. And one of the things I do see, which I know is sort of still taught a lot and conceptually sort of somewhat accepted, is a lot of people setting up with the ball position a long way back, the hands a long way forward, okay, which that generally promotes a lot of de-loft and also taking what we talk about, taking the bounce off the club. So that's now is basically that club's now designed to, it's obviously going to come down a steeper angle of attack and designed to dig a little. So my preference would be to actually get the ball position or get the spine and the shaft more in line. Okay, so therefore the ball position is going to sit just in forward of my stance as opposed to being back in the stance. This then allows me to actually use the loft that I've got, okay, and also the bounce, which everyone's now sort of talking about a lot more.
Thanks for joining us on GVTV. We'll see you next time.